answer. This is amazing. Thank you very much for inviting me today. I usually spend my time in inventing things and designing things, so this is a bit unusual for me. I hope I do a good job. Today I would like to talk to you about thinking digital, but also thinking physical, and how to find the balance in between the two. I think that, can you hear me well, by the way? Yeah? Good. Okay, good. I think that there are three very important things, like pillars, that you have to consider when designing physical objects or digital objects, or a mix of the two. And these are context, magic, and empathy. My background is in design, but I guess here in London, I learned how to become an inventor and create new products, write patent, and this is what I do on a daily basis. I run a design and invention studio called Special Projects. And I'm gonna show you 3 projects that we have done, each of them highlighting one of these aspects. So the first one is context. It's quite usual when designing a digital object or an app or a digital service to forget the context in which it's going to be used, the physical context in which people will actually use the app on a daily basis. So I really push you to think about that, and I think that these will really unlock your creativity. For example, BlackBerry asked us in 2009 to investigate digital interruptions. And I have to thank Amber because she did a wonderful introduction to that. We are bombarded by interruptions, and usually the only way the phone can communicate with us is just by buzzing in the pocket or making some strange noise. So what we did, we actually investigated context to try to find a novel way to tackle digital interruptions, to make them less annoying, less frustrating. So we went out and we shadowed dinner parties, meetings, romantic dates. It was quite weird to be there. But we learned a lot. And we learned that actually mobile phones are mostly annoying in those contexts. So the phone buzzing in your pocket is actually extremely distracting. You just want to see, to hear what the call is about, what this continuous buzzing is about. And the curiosity about that overrides everything you're doing. So you're not there anymore with your date, you're not there anymore in the meeting, you're just thinking, oh my God, what is this about? So we invented a project called Skin Display. So imagine Laura is in a meeting and the phone buzzes in her pocket. Now instead of interrupting the meeting, she can put her hand in the pocket, squeeze the device, and then a raised message will actually be imprinted on her finger. So she can discreetly know what the phone or the text is about, wipe it away just by rubbing her fingers together, and get on with the meeting. It works a little bit like pressing a credit card, and it uses the technology normally seen in Braille displays. So when we went to BlackBerry and we showed them this concept, we thought, okay, this is it. We're never going to work with them anymore. They're going to get mad at us. But actually, instead, they patented it the next day. And hopefully, you can see the patent. Yes, perfect. So this just shows you that, maybe just looking at the physical context of digital elements, like in this case, digital interruptions, can really give you different, novel way of approaching the problem. Context alone is not enough. To achieve meaningful innovation, you need empathy. And empathy is, really knowing your end user, really knowing their needs and aspirations, spending time with them, getting out of the studio, the office, wherever you usually work in. And the project that taught us most about empathy is a project that we did for Samsung back in 2009. They asked us to design a phone for older users and to enable older users to enjoy mobile technology. So there is a common myth amongst designers, and that's older people look like this. Their body and minds are decaying, they live in poverty, they have no social life, they're very sad, and they love beige and gray. We always design beige and gray for older people. Well, we discovered that actually the real picture is very different. Older people are full of energy, they're very good fun, they have a very active social life, and we actually loved spending time with them during this project. Unfortunately, technology company at the time didn't really see this picture. And when you went into a phone shop and asked for a phone for your grandmother or mother, you were presented with phones like these. These are called silver phones, and we think they are very stigmatizing and disrespectful. None of them have enough digits to dial a number. You're only allowed 4 friends or 3 friends when you are over 60. But they all have an SOS button just to remind you that you're about to die any minute. So yeah, when we saw these, we thought, okay, we can't design something like this. We want to concentrate on people's abilities and superpower, making them access technology, not dumb down technology. And decide that 4 friends are enough, that you don't need to, you cannot dial a number and you need only an SOS button. So we really continue the project with this promise to ourselves to enable people to access technology and to be inspired by their abilities and not constrained by their disabilities, let's say. So we started a wonderful journey across Europe. We went everywhere. We did 3 workshops in UK, Norway, and Italy. And we had a great time. We had 6 hours with 6 users. And it was super good fun. What we really tried to do was not to talk technology. We didn't show them like diagrams or mobile phones. We actually really tried to foster creativity, and we talked about magic. Using physical elements really helped us to get the real answers out of people. And one in particular was very successful. So we gave people bananas and asked them to make their dream phones. We gave them also stickers and ribbons so that they could create their most magical phone and really tell us what they wanted from technology. We were hearing lots of things like, I want just big buttons, a big screen, and we didn't think that was the real answer. And actually, the bananas really unlocked their creativity and critical thinking, and they really started to tell us what they really wanted from technology. So this is one of the examples of the bananas. Some people used it as an organic Post-it notes, so they just wrote the features that they wanted on a banana. They were not up for playing. Some other went wild and created all sorts of amazing digital tools. These are on the snow in Italy. The second one says tutto vocale, anche SMS. That means all vocal, even SMS. And this is, this person basically invented Siri in 2009. So it was, super like high-tech, next frontier. The banana behind has a film button. So he wanted to watch film on his phone. And a coffee please button. We're almost there. You can find a coffee shop though. This banana was our, breakthrough banana, the amazing learning moment. There is a button to make the kids happy. So this grandfather just wanted to go home when he was babysitting his grandchildren, just press the button and make them quiet and happy. But actually, we laughed at the time, but then we thought, how many of us give the tablets and the phone to the kids to keep them calm and quiet for a little while? So this was one of the learning. But the most important learning comes from that little map, that GPS. Is a map with a red dot of where you are. So this is basically a GPS. And we knew that the person that invented this banana had a GPS on his phone. So we asked him what was the difference in between the two. And he went bright red. He basically didn't know that he had a GPS on his phone. So this simple exercise of the bananas actually gave us very important information. One is that older people really wanted amazing technological tools. They didn't want the dumbed down 5 digits phones. They were asking for films, for weather reports, for traffic light controls. And then the other things we learned is that there was a barrier in exploring the device. So this person didn't know he had a GPS on his device. So yes, the users were amazing and full of energy. The devices, there were lots of smartphones coming out in 2009. I think there was already the first iPhone out there and many other Google, Androids and Samsung phones. So the devices were there. The users were amazing. There was this barrier in between them. So what could that barrier be? We learned what that barrier was when we took people of all ages to buy phones and, shadow them again, explore, looked at what their reactions were. The main difference we saw is when people came back home. So Duncan, that is in his 20s there, opens the box, chucks the manual away, and learns, by trial and error. He was able to send us an SMS within, I think, a minute. Beverly, that is up there, she's in her 60s. About 1 minute in now, she's still very lost. She's looking for help that is not in the box. She doesn't understand if this is the right box is the right manual for the right phone, why the phone is not turning on. Beverly was very, very enthusiastic to buy a new phone. She loved it when we told her, come with us, we're going to buy a new phone. She was like, yay, I can send pictures to my granddaughter. She was like super, super happy. At that moment, her enthusiasm dropped. She was like, oh, I'm sorry, Clara, I'm not a tech person. This is not for me. And so we had an enlightenment. And we thought, actually, we don't need to design a new phone. We need to design a better out-of-box experience that leverages on older people's mental model and make them access the amazing technology that is out there. So the out-of-box experience right now has this element: the manual, the user, and the device. So the manual, the box, and the device. And the user has to struggle to join these elements together. What we wanted to create was an experience that really blends them into a wonderful, frictionless learning experience. So what we did is that we designed a set of hardbound books that look beautiful and will not look out of place in your bookshelf or bedside table. But actually, the box itself, that was the same size of a Samsung box at the time, contains the phone. And the first book helps you to build it in the right order. So the first page reveals the SIM, that is the heart and soul of your phone. Then the second page reveals exactly where you need to slide it in the device. Then the third page reveals the battery, and then where you need to place the battery. All the way until the back cover, and then it helps you to turn the phone on. So Beverly would struggle a lot before with the normal user experience, out-of-box experience. She was giggling all the way through this, and she was like, this is much easier. And it was a very, very similar phone. It was just helping her, using a familiar model, the book, to guide her through building a device. The second book actually teaches you how to use your phone, speaks a very clear language, there is no jargon, and allows you to place the phone at the center of the attention. And all the instructions are actually pointing, again, exactly where you need to press, avoiding confusion that you sometimes have when you look at diagrams on a manual and have to understand if it's the same thing on your phone. Also, of course, if you're a very good pro user, you can skip to chapter 9 and go directly to the most difficult features. So in this case, we use the book to translate or to bridge, the user and the device, something that had a very familiar, was a very familiar model. And it was very, very important for us to empathize with the user, to really understand their needs and aspiration. If not, we would have probably designed another silver phone. Oh God, hopefully not. This is the first mobile phone user manual that made its way to the Museum of Modern Art in New York. I have a little picture for you. We were very proud of it, and it was almost like incredible that this was achieved. But this is just to show you that when you concentrate on the user's superpower and not on their disabilities, you can actually achieve something very meaningful. I guess we can skip to the next slide. Thank you very much. So now, you probably have understood that we're really into magic. We have phones hidden in books, secret message in your pockets. Magic is really one of the things that we share, we really push and we really talk to people about, because we think that is the key to make technology and digital products very interesting and delightful. Adrian, who is in the audience, is my husband and business partner. He is a member of the Magic Circle. So every Monday, oh, sorry, I think the clicker works. Sorry, I'm not gonna click, I'm just gonna signal, okay? So every Monday he meets with these very strange people at the Magic Circle. They come out of cars like these. Some of them wear capes, some of them ninja outfits. It's a very strange place, but it's amazing and it's full of magic. And what I'm really fascinated about is how a magician takes very normal, familiar objects and manages to elevate them to a new frontier. The ordinary becomes the extraordinary. You have like a floppy ropes that becomes rigid. You have a card that changes. This is super, super beautiful. And at some point we thought, can we add magic to a very, very magicless element? Like every month we had to do resource planning. And I think we were always very scared of that day. And we always felt if we can nail this, if we can make resource planning magical, we'll make our life so much better. So as an internal project, a homegrown project in our studio, we set off to make resource planning magical. No more Excel files. So first of all, we looked at what people were using to organize themselves in the studio. And we found that a mix of beautiful tools. Some were physical calendars and to-do lists. Some people were writing at the back of their hands. We learned about the satisfaction of striking off an element of a list. But we also seen very digital ways of organizing yourself. So we saw like shared calendars that could be accessed by many team members in a group. So we thought we have to design something that has both a digital and physical element. Something that keeps the satisfaction of crossing an element of a list, but it is also accessible everywhere in the world. So we designed the Bit Planner, a physical and digital calendar. That sits in our studio and hopefully soon will be released out in the world. But I'll show you a little video for you to see what it is.
One thing we always talk about in the studio is how to organize ourselves. It's something we always think we can improve. So we started looking at all the different ways people organize things, and we tried to invent something new that we could use to organize ourselves in the studio. It had to be big and visible, so we could see a few months ahead. It had to work both online and offline, because we travel a lot. We wanted it to be tactile and really easy to understand.
So, we invented this Lego calendar. Each row represents a month, each rectangle represents a day of the week, and everyone in the studio has their own line on the calendar. We use different colored bricks for each project, and each brick represents half a day. We keep a little index hidden away so we don't forget who we're working for. Sometimes someone is out of the studio and they need to check the calendar. So we made some software which automatically synchronizes the Lego calendar to our digital one in the cloud. All you need to do is take a photograph of the calendar with any phone and email it to a special address. And then our software scans through the image and automatically detects the color and position of each block and updates our digital calendar.
We like it because it's really tangible. You can literally hold and share blocks of time. It lives in the digital and the physical world. Anyone can make a calendar like this, and we're still evolving and experimenting the design. Soon we'll be sharing the computer code online so that you can start organising yourself wherever you are.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. I hope this was a little inspiring, and you've seen how using or looking at context, magic and empathy can help you when needing to find the balance in between physical and digital when creating a product or a service. So as last words of wisdom, consider where and when a digital product will be used in the physical world. Understand the humans you are designing for, really, get to know them, learn their true needs and aspirations. And last but not least, remember that technology is your magic wand. Use it to enchant familiar objects like Lego bricks or many other. Thank you very much for your time today. I'll be around all day if you want to say hello.